So now on with the program. In a moment, I will be introducing Wendy Garen, the president and CEO of the Ralph M. Parsons Foundation and SCG's phenomenal board chair. It's true, she's phenomenal. I'm personally grateful to Wendy every day, her wise counsel, her years of experience, and thankfully she has a sense of humor. So, speaking on behalf of our members, thank you, Wendy, for your outstanding leadership. Along with our exceptional board of directors, you are all moving this organization forward at lightning speed, and I'm delighted to ask Wendy up to the podium to share some of our exciting new developments. Wendy Garen.
I already like this year better. It's a lower podium. Thank you, Chris, and good morning, everyone. As your board chair, it is truly my honor to officially welcome you to SCG's 2015 annual conference. You know, I've been proud to be a member of this organization for 30 years, personally, but this year sets a new high water mark for us. What a year it's been. Let's reflect on it. We're growing in size, we're growing in scope, and we're growing toward achieving tangible and more impactful outcomes in our work. I'd like to share with you a few of these achievements on the local, statewide, and national level. And, you know, referencing our speaker, you know, some of these could be seen as a little scary and outside our comfort zone. But I have found over the course of my career that sometimes things that seem scary once you get into them aren't. And there's a line, I've been through some terrible things in my life, and some of them have actually happened. Our members have been working closely with the Board of Supervisors and the Office of Child Protection to establish the first philanthropic liaison office within the County of Los Angeles. Called the Center for Strategic Public-Private Partnerships, this new office is going to develop a shared agenda for joint initiatives between the county and philanthropy. This is focused initially on child welfare, where we know we have a crisis. But we also want to keep in mind that this relationship that we're developing will be used for other topics as well. So as we build our muscle of understanding government and government understanding us, we think it will drive outcomes across any number of subject areas or disciplines. You know that LA County is the largest county in the nation, and what we do here has enormous implications for the rest of the country. So this initiative with the county for us is big. It's visible. It has the attention of the Board of Supervisors, and we're excited about its potential impact for children and families. We're doing it first here in LA, and we think this is going to drive attention to our region, increase our stature nationally, and attract resources to Los Angeles because they can see that we're innovating, we're creative, and we have our eye on outcomes. Many foundations, including my own, Parsons, have worked hard in support of this collaboration. I have to say it's a little scary to bring something new like this to your board. I'm not the decision maker, I'm the conduit. But I have been, over the years, often surprised that when I think something's going to be a tough sell, it turns out that if the staff is excited, that almost always the board is too. So I want to give you courage. If you think that they're not responsive, don't sell them short. So we've got more than a dozen foundations who have signed on to create this office, which is going to be executed over a pilot with the hope that it'll be meaningful enough that we'll sustain it. We're going to keep you informed and updated on this in the months ahead. At the statewide level, you know that we're collaborating and building bridges with our sister organizations, Northern California Grantmakers and San Diego Grantmakers, now called the California Philanthropy Alliance. This effort gives us the opportunity to connect with funders around issues, initiatives, and public policy issues statewide. Together, there's no question that by coming together, we lift the voice of philanthropy in California and beyond. I'd like to recognize Ellen LaPont, the new CEO of NCG, as well as Betta Jahidi and Megan Behrens, 2 new senior directors at San Diego Grantmakers. Thank you all for joining us today. On a national level, I'm pleased to share with you that increasingly we're becoming a respected voice in Washington, and I think will become a go-to voice to weigh in on important issues. In fact, Chris Essel was recently invited to attend and speak at the White House for a special convening on immigration and civic engagement, where she shared our work, Southern California Grantmakers' work, your work on this issue. We've also been forging other important new connections in Washington. This last spring, a dozen of us met with members of Congress as part of a national delegation of funders. We presented as a state, and clearly we had more impact in those visits with our legislators because we had that common front. This fall, we hosted a special convening of our Veterans Initiative group with the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Robert McDonald. This session explored the challenges facing returning vets and how government and philanthropy can partner more closely to better support soldiers and their families. All of these regional, statewide, and national initiatives are happening because of you. You're stepping up to lead. You're showing courage. You're connecting and taking action together. We are no longer satisfied to come together to just learn. We are figuring out how to play well together. And I think many of us just feel that we're at the beginning of this path, and so many examples of our success. I see Deborah Morrow, and I think of Pacific Standard Time. It's not limited to poverty. It's really, how do we get 1 + 1 to be 3 and have more impact? And I think we see that in many ways. And the collective impact is something we're going to get better at. So we're grateful to every one of you for taking time to be here, to experience our sense of community, and for your commitment to Southern California Grantmakers. Before I bring Chris up to the podium, I want to take a moment to recognize her. Her passion, her vision as our president and CEO. She's accomplished so much for our organization that we all deeply care about. It's an incredible privilege and great fun to be the wind beneath her wings, which all of us are. And she's an amazing leader. And I just, on behalf of all of us, and including the board, thank you.
Thank you for those very touching words. I promise myself I'm not going to get choked up today, and damn it. All right. I'd like to recognize all of our board members who are here today. First of all, we have an impressive list coming up. There it is, of our current board members. And if you're in the room, would you please stand so we can give you some acknowledgement? I see Carl Broughton. Come on, Carl. I know there's a bunch. Wendy Garen. You have Celia Baji, Ed Kane, Chris Hershey, B. Solis. Thank you. It's so much fun working with this group of leaders. And frankly, it's really a privilege to serve all of you, the community of leaders known as SCG. I truly appreciate how dedicated all of you are to the people and the organizations who form the fabric of our communities. So we are here today to discover new ways to address the enormous challenges of what we're calling the opportunity gap. So what do we really refer to when we say the opportunity gap? Indeed, we all know it's a highly complex and interrelated set of issues that we are exploring today. It's about poverty, education, criminal justice, healthcare, income inequality, and so much more. Now, if I can have your full attention, you seem very quiet, so that's good. We have an outstanding video, if I say so myself, that we prepared for you to show how this means in our communities.
The opportunity gap. It isn't just a problem for low-income families. It's larger than that. A critical social dilemma that affects all Californians. And it's a more widespread issue than most realize. Every child should have the opportunity to achieve happiness in life. But sadly, more and more children are facing obstacles that undermine those chances. While statistics tell us 12% of California households are below the poverty line, the reality is much more dire. Once you add the dramatically rising costs of transportation, childcare, healthcare, and housing, that number swells to 31%. A staggering 3.2 million California families struggling to meet the real cost of living. Many of them right here in Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and other Southern California counties. These numbers rise even higher amongst African American and Latino families. Children growing up in poverty lag far behind their more affluent peers in almost every cognitive, behavioral, emotional, and health measurement. Those coming through the foster care system face an even steeper climb, adding a high risk for homelessness and depression. A staggering 25% experience post-traumatic stress symptoms. Incarceration also threatens a child's future greatly, as former inmates face lower educational attainment, higher unemployment, and are more likely to suffer from substance abuse and mental health issues. Unless they can find the support that they need, up to 75% of youths that leave a lockdown facility will end up right back in the system. And sadly, the criminal justice system sees a disproportionate amount of minorities. Roughly 1 in 3 African American males and 1 in 6 Latino males are estimated to be imprisoned at least once. A sharp contrast to 1 in 17 white males. Because these debilitating factors diminish opportunities for young people and adults to attain college degrees or vocational certificates, the economy of our entire state is in jeopardy. By 2025, California could face a 2.3 million worker gap between available jobs and applicants who meet the educational requirements. With knowledge-based industries surging in its share of our state's economy, California needs educated workforce to drive economic growth and innovation. It appears daunting, but philanthropy can help close the divide. Southern California Grantmakers is where we can learn, connect, and take action together. Today, we have over 300 foundations, companies, government funders, and individuals dedicated to making the greatest impact on crucial issues for our region and beyond. By tapping into the great diversity and creativity of our region and our nonprofit community, it's within our power to bridge the opportunity gap, to equip our children with the tools needed to reach their dreams, and to power our great state into a bright and prosperous future. Together, we can help make the difference. Welcome to Southern California Grantmakers.
Terrific. Thanks to Tone Mesa, who I think they're in the back of the room, produced that, and our communications team did a great job, Alex Carew in particular. So we have a lot of work to do together, don't we? The thought leaders, the business and labor voices, government officials, and philanthropists you will hear from today have expertise in developing strategies that can help bridge these disparities. Like each of you, they are working hard to bring greater opportunities to all our communities. When you think about it in one way or another, all the activities and programs we've done this last year at SCG have focused on addressing the opportunity gap in some measure. Guided by our member steering committees, we've held more than 125 programs so far this year on a multitude of topic areas. And we are delving intensely into the most timely and critical issues so we can help you achieve greater impact both individually and collectively. For instance, in the coming months, you'll be hearing more about a new initiative we've launched to form an environmental funders group. We'll focus, clapping, yes, clapping. It's actually such a brilliant idea, and we got grant support to do that, so thank you for our anonymous grant supporter. And so this group is going to focus in on how we jointly can play a leading role here in Southern California to impact some of the extraordinary conditions affecting our region, our state, and our planet. We're also building a membership connection to our hometown entertainment and talent sector. because they have the power to really bring tremendous visibility to the causes we care about. Across the region, more and more of Southern California philanthropy is joining us at the SCG table to learn, connect, and take action together. So at this time, I'm thrilled to present all of the new members for 2015. There's 70 in total who have joined SCG in the last, 12 months. So we'll take a few minutes to admire all the new members. Let's give our new members a big round of applause. And if you're sitting with or talking to someone with a new member badge, please make them feel welcome. So this brings us to nearly 300 members now, representing 2,500 of your peers, and includes all kinds of foundations, companies, government grant makers, generous individuals, and philanthropic consultants. And with a membership this size, you really have the power to make meaningful connections with so many more partners than ever before. But in order to do so, we need to better understand the ecosystems in which we operate. So SCG is a leading participant in a national mapping initiative with Foundation Center and the Forum of Regional Associations. It's designed to help us better understand who is funding what and where, and help us shape the story of philanthropy in our region and beyond. So if you haven't done so already, I want to encourage you to get on the map. So please stop by the Foundation Center table, especially during the 2 p.m. break today. I'd now like to take a moment to acknowledge those members who so generously underwrote today's conference. We deeply appreciate our generous sponsors, in particular our presenting sponsors to start with, California Community Foundation, Annenberg Foundation, Santa Barbara Foundation. Thank you, all of you. Your extraordinary support means a lot to us. We also have many generous gold sponsors, and they include some new names, the Albertson and Bonds Foundation, Conrad and Hilton Foundation, Disney, the James Irvine Foundation, J.P. Morgan Chase, Orfalea Foundation, Ralph M. Parsons Foundation, Weingart Foundation, and Wells Fargo. Thank you to all of you. And a very special thanks to our many deeply valued silver, bronze, and donor-level sponsors. We'll take a moment to review this impressive list. We thank all of you for stepping up. It's really important to get that extra support, not only to put on a conference of this quality, but to help us underwrite the costs of the organization. In fact, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to our operating grant sponsors because ongoing dues really covers less than half of what it costs to provide the types of programs and initiatives that you've seen this year. So our deepest thanks to our operating grant sponsors, also an impressive and growing list. And anybody's welcome to join that crowd, by the way. It's not exclusive. Now our deepest thanks to our Conference Advisory Committee members who have been instrumental in helping to shape today's agenda. They've provided us with terrific input, and their valuable insights really helped us design what you're seeing on the agenda today. Last but not least, I want to recognize our talented staff. And there's a few more names up there than you've seen in the past because we've been growing. We have new members. We have to grow. We have a nice slate of interns as well. We're very happy to bring the new generation along. Thank you to the SCG staff for putting on this conference. Let me ask them all to stand and wave so you can actually appreciate them to their face. So. And we also, as you probably know, have a handful of really terrific consultants that have helped us with our corporate work and our family work and our political work, so our public policy work. So thank you to all of them. I also want to give out a special a special shout out to Dave Sheldon and Tuli Martinez. They really drove the whole conference today. And believe me, they worked really, really hard and sweat a lot of tears and a few sleepless nights. So on behalf of the SCG board and staff, our heartfelt thanks to all our supporters and to all of you. Let's give ourselves a huge round of applause.